I see a green button.
Hi, welcome to Social with Christine Gritmon Inc. I do this every Friday at noon. I talk to someone about social media, often a fellow social media professional, like this week. This week I have Will, is it Tigert?
Tiger with a T at the end. Tiger. Yep.
Fantastic. Will Tigert. Now it's on the screen of Tigert Media. And actually the way I found him was via what we're about to talk about, which is Facebook audience targeting. Will, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So it's a great example of how I met you. Basically, when I first got into this, I was trying to figure out some advanced targeting, and I wanted to go down. I believe it was in the San Diego one because I did a couple of
Yes.
them.
Social
And
media marketing world.
yeah, and I was like, man, I really want to go. And I was like, instead, why don't I just talk to everybody that's down there, but not have to actually go down there? So I created this ad,
You
and I
should go down
thought,
there this year, though. It was awesome.
and I thought, well, hopefully you'll be speaking there soon. Um, and I thought to myself, like, if I was sitting in there, what would I want? And I know in those kind of networking things, there's always the guy in the corner that's sitting on a cell phone going, trying to text somebody or checking his Facebook because he doesn't want to engage, right? So what I did is I just picked the convention center, I believe it was, during the show, and then after hours, I picked outside of it, and I did multi-level targeting, and I created this canvas ad that was like, "Hey, do you feel awkward when you're in a thing? I noticed that you're in a social marketing world. Here's some things that you can do." And I got some amazing responses from people that were like, "This is awesome! Like, this really helped me because yes, I was sitting in the corner scrolling my Facebook feed, praying for the next session to start because I was shy." And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you were sitting in the airport in San Diego Airport, and you were like, just about to head out of town. This is really cool.
Yeah.
And that's how we met. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. What are some tips that you gave people in that?
Well, the tip is go find someone that's like you. I always try to find the person that's in the corner that looks awkward, and you can be the hero to that person if you just go over to them and you're like, "Hey, how's it going? What are you passionate about?" You never really say what do you do for a living or what are you passionate about. Or when you walk into a room, the first thing you do is you walk in the room and you're standing there at the doorway and you kind of look at everyone and you're waiting for someone to look at you, and you wave to them, and then you go in there. You don't just run into the room and then go and hide in the corner. So you give yourself a little bit of time. So, and I'm a really shy guy, but I'm in those kind of things all the time. I mean, I'm always in networking events. So these were things where I was like, there's some people that are in the social media stuff that are behind computers and they don't get a lot of social interaction. And I thought, well, maybe let me just reach out and test at the same time. It was fantastic. It was so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about how you did that and other similar things that you've done in terms of targeting audiences on Facebook and how people can, first of all, do that, and second of all, how they can use it. Like, why do it?
Yeah, I think the first thing that you do is a lot of people like to run to the ad and the creative and the copy, and I think what they should really do is go into either audience insights or even a piece of paper and write down who am I actually trying to talk to, and then you
Yeah.
change the word from an ad and you say if I want to have a conversation with somebody, who do I want to have a conversation with? So on that particular one, it was I want to have a conversation with someone that likes social media marketing world. I did some audience insights to find out maybe some really good age groups and who was more willing, who would be more engaging into it, who would do certain things, and I got who I wanted, but I didn't have to blanket all of San Diego
Yeah.
and spend a lot of money. I probably only spent $10 on that canvas ad, and it's okay to get this 2 million people audience down to 450 people. It's completely okay.
How did
Another
you
thing
get
that I
those insights that you targeted by?
So within if anybody's been Facebook, within Facebook, there's all kinds of information that scares my wife because she thinks that they know too much about us, but it's
The
kind of
audience
cool.
insights tab, which I learned about at Social Media Marketing World from Mary Smith, is mind-blowingly creepy. They know everything about you, and people are like, "Well, how did they know that? I didn't report that on my profile." I'm like, "Oh, Facebook has so many other ways of learning about you."
When you're in the ad, the Cliff Notes version is when you're actually doing an ad yourself. You can put in interest. Let's say I'm a pizza place, and you can put in that I like pizza, and you can layer things on top of that with interest and demographics. So what I like to do is when I work with a restaurant, let's just say, and they're trying to do something, they go into audience insights, which I'll talk about in a second. But when they go in there and they find out that we want to do something on Thursday, and we want to do something. We have a kid-friendly area, and we want to find some moms that are in a certain demographic or a certain age group, and they have certain age groups of kids. And what we want to do is we want to find moms that like pizza, right? That would come here, and we'll put an ad out that says, "Come here and get a pizza and 2 pitchers of Coke." And we have a kid-friendly area in your room, and we'll be raffling off some things. In my town, the people that like pizza, the women in that demographic, they like I love kickboxing for some reason. So that would be an awesome add-on there. You just go through and you find out that they like this stuff, and then you go, okay, so now what you've done is you've taken this mom who has kids that likes pizza, and you've given her a place to go with her friends on Thursday, and she can get raffled off some I love kickboxing stuff because you know it. Now what you've done is you haven't cluttered up somebody's news feed or somebody's phone, and you've actually like improved. I don't want to get too like weird about this, but you've improved people's lives with pizza, right? So that's why you do these things is not just like, man, I'm trying to get this person to do the sale, but you actually break down the different audiences that would come to your car dealer, that would buy a house from you, that would do whatever, and you break it down and you have conversations with them, and you're able to do that with some really detailed targeting, and then that's just on the ad itself. But if you go over to Audience Insights, which is you press the hamburger that's up on the top, and there's this tool that lets you look before you do an ad and find out, okay, I'm trying to accomplish something in that town. So who are the age groups? Are they male or female? Are they parents or not? What are their income? You take a lot of time to figure out who these people are, and you may take in an 80,000 person town, and you may only find 200 people that are interested in your article about the plight of the millennials that can't find any homes, but you're just getting that article in front of 200 people. And then you're getting an article for older people that are looking for a second vacation home. You're going to get in front of those 150 people. And so you're using these ads and these interests to actually get like amazing stuff. So people don't just look at you as the realtor in town. They're like, wow, Will knows me. Will knows who I am.
This is the realtor for me.
Yeah, he's bringing the stuff to me. He's not just cluttering up stuff or just doing the whatever. And it does take a little bit more work on the front end, but that's how you build relationships, which, I mean, we could talk probably an hour about the things that you do all the time, but you actually got to get out there and build relationships, right? And that's what you're trying to do. So,
and a huge part of this is again, people need to keep in mind, there's this idea that using market research to really drill down and target people, targeting feels sort of unsavory, like, oh, they know all this scary information about me to sell to me. But when you think about it, it really is about only showing you the stuff that's relevant to you. I mean, I love that. I don't want to see an ad for something that's not relevant to my life. I think it's much better if the only things I'm seeing are things that are relevant to my life. And it's better for you as an advertiser because you're not wasting money on a demographic who's not your demographic.
Yeah, I mean, I have a store now. It's a thrift store, and the ad comes on the Monday before the Tuesday sale, and the only people that see it are the people that are into Goodwill and that are into boutique and into antique stuff, and it's a very small crowd. And actually, they almost all see it in the same every week. They see it, right? And they love it.
So that also builds brand familiarity because they're used to seeing you, and so now you're in their head.
And you're just getting to, so instead of getting 1,000 people, and if I have $10 and that's all I can spend on 1,000 people, but what if you can spend it on 100 people, that same $10, and then keep having a conversation as opposed to just one ad? And this doesn't just work for, we use ads a lot, but this works a lot too. I mean, I've talked to some organizations locally here that we're thinking about how can we use Instagram and get some powerful messages to the 13 to 19-year-olds that are in high school and that are going through some troubles. How do we get them some good articles on becoming leaders, and how do you do, how do you deal with bullying? And this is a powerful tool that you can use with targeting and just get it in front of the kids that can use this information. I mean, you're not selling anything. You're just having a conversation with them and finding them where they're at. And if they're on Instagram and they see what you're doing, so targeting is a really powerful thing.
It really is. And I want to back up for a minute and explain to some people who may not be as familiar with Audience Insights. just to explain what that means. So if you're on Facebook and you're on, honestly, just your own home feed, because of course you have to navigate Facebook as a person. Now you can't just go on this page. So you're on your home feed. Along the left-hand side of the screen, there's all these different options, and Ads Manager is in there. You may have to click See More. The Ads Manager is in there, and if you click on Ads Manager, there's a little 3-line menu in the top left corner, and Audience Insights is an option in there. That's how you access it too, right? Well, there's not like a...
Yeah, no, and Audience Insights is the very first thing that you should go to.
It's so creepy and so amazing, but like literally you can type in, if you're an admin of a page, you can say, of the people who like my page, who are they? And it tells you crazy amounts of information. It tells you their relationship status and how much they make approximately, and education level. But most importantly, it tells you their top interests and the top pages they like. So you can be aware of what your desired audience and what the audience you have is already seeing.
Yeah, that works great for any local business in town. I love videos. That's the first thing that I do is I'll throw out a video out there, a branding video, and I'm trying to get that 3-second view to find out who my audience is.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll bring that video back and I'll dissect that and I'll find out what's the most important thing to my audience. And, you know, if I'm an insurance agent and I notice that, boy, it sure seems like a lot of them like this particular restaurant and a lot of them like this movie theater, what I'll do is I'll actually, people are seeing my ads, I'll show them a second ad and I'll run a contest for the movie theater because I know that my audience likes it, and I will pull them out, and maybe I'll do like an auto response and a chat bot or something like that, but I'll pull them out of the caves using something that they actually like, and then I get to give these people who, according to the targets, look like they might be into, you know, they're homeowners or somebody that I want to do this insurance for. So this targeting, once you get the information out there and coming back and looking at it, is huge.
Yeah. And that's very useful because, again, it's all about giving the right people what they want to see.
Yeah. Another one I have. Oh, I was about to say another cool. This is the coolest thing that I have going on right now. Is I've got this in 2018. Hopefully, I'm going to be working with the local tourism board and providing Facebook ads for the hotels and whatnot for that particular commission. So you got to find out who the people are that come into your town, and it's really hard to find out who actually is coming into your town. So for the last 2.5, 3 months, I've got a video that goes out there. It's a 10-second video that has some orcas and all kinds of stuff from our thing. And I said, hey, hope you enjoy our town. And I'm targeting people that are not from this town, so travelers that are in this town. So then what I was able to do is I've broken it up by state, custom audiences.
Oh, wow.
And I have a running dashboard, and I know what percentage of people come from Oregon and Idaho and New York and Philly. So then when it comes time to put ads out, I know where I should be spending it. Where are they from? Who comes into our area? So this targeting thing is just is really powerful.
So can you break down some of that how for people? So how, first of all, do you know that level of detail on who's viewing that specific video? And then how do you target those people? So
what I would do, so if I'm a restaurant near a hotel in San Diego, and I want to get pizza for all the guys, or give stuff to people that are businessmen or women that are from out of town, what I'll do is I can actually choose like that hotel, a mile radius from it, and then up on there it says either everybody that is in this location, everybody that lives in this location, or people that are traveling in this location.
And they know that they're traveling because Facebook knows where you live. Like whether you told Facebook where you live or not, they know where you're accessing Facebook from. If you're accessing Facebook from a certain geographic location or a certain IP address regularly, they know that that's where you live. So they know if you're in a different location, they know that too. And they know that you're traveling there, right?
Yeah.
Just to explain to people how that information exists.
So you, and it's kind of creepy, and there's certain levels of it. I mean, our phones, if we want to use GPS to go somewhere, most probably they know where we're at. Like I said, it could freak some people out, but then you know that the guy's out of town or the gal's out of town, and they're at the hotel, and you can show them, you know, a video, and then they're part of your audience.
Yeah.
But it is, so the targeting, and then going back to, if you're talking about the ads itself, is you could do, like I said, by locations. You can do, I suggest, what I did one night is I just clicked everything when I first started. I clicked every button and tried everything that was in the ads manager just to see what was available. There are certain certain things like residential information is not very good. Like in Canada, it's kind of tough to get that kind of information, and there's certain countries, across the world that you're not going to have the same level of detail. But it also goes back to the whole thing is targeting. If I'm not a store owner, you shouldn't feel as an advertiser that you have to come up with all these wonderful answers and targeting. You should actually go to whoever your client is or whoever you're working with and ask them a bunch of questions, because they're an expert on who comes through their door. And then your job is to then do the targeting. For that matter. Yeah, but a lot of people are so scared because I'm this, internet marketing guy and I'm supposed to know everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it on the side. And it's like, your biggest expert is actually your customer. And don't feel bad going back to them and interviewing them. Even once you get the information out, say, this is what the data looks like. What do you think? And they're not going to tell you, well, you're an idiot. What you should know this stuff. They're going to be like, oh, no. This is what I like. Oh, those would be good. We should double down on that. So never be afraid. Like, you have to have all the answers. And there's pretty much targeting for anything that your expert customer is going to tell you.
Yep.
So.
Great.
I would say and a couple of other things that you can do. I wrote a couple things on the video views. I think what's important, because with the branding, and by the way, today is the day, right? Today is your strike up the brand, right?
Yes. Oh, I love that you know that.
Yes. So like today, if we're talking about straight up branding, right? And I'm a small business, I'm a coffee shop, and I don't have a lot of money, but I want to get my brand out there, right? So part of it is getting that first video out and then taking the time. That's the easy part. Get your hood ornament out and then go ahead and split up and figure out that you're going to do 8 or 10 ads broken up from that audience, and go split up your audiences and find out, okay, we want to get the teenage kids that like the mocha frappuccino stuff, and we like the guy. Break it up and don't be afraid of sending out 8 to 10 ads that are specific conversations to those people, because once again, going back to branding, you're going to show up differently. It's just going to be different when you're relative. You know what I mean? And that's really what it is. And if you have an app out there that you're trying to do, I think I don't know if you have dealt with apps a lot, but the cool thing about apps is they'll know, like MyFitnessPal, right? My wife is a big MyFitnessPal person, and that's where you put in your food and it tells you all this great stuff. Now for $9.99, they'll let you tell you, like, to the nth degree what kind of carbohydrate that you're having, which is fantastic maybe for some, but they actually know when's the last time that you, when you went in there and you logged. So wouldn't it be awesome instead if you paid $9.99 a month and you had a coach? And what happened with the coach was that this every time that you went 3 days without putting it in there, without putting your information in there, you had an ad that just scrolled up, and it wasn't an ad, it was an article on the 5 best techniques to create a good habit. And then if you were running and it noticed that you were logging your running and stuff like that, then it gave you apps, or it gave you other apps, or it gave you articles on running and whatnot. Now you're talking about a personal coach for $9.99 using Facebook ads and targeting, and knowing that I'm using my phone. Now we're talking, right? Now we're talking a huge benefit that you can do. But I mean, stuff like this, like if you can honestly go, how could I enrich somebody's life? Start off with that. Go find that person, and then create your ads around that. Yes, because that's what you've done actually for me. Because not to go too sappy, but so you're the first one that like went, wow, I really learned something from you. That's really cool. And then I started watching your stuff, and I was like, I was listening to Gary Vee and all these other Vaynerchuk and all these other ones, but I was like, she's actually out there doing it every day. She's Facebook Live, and she's going out and doing Chamber of Commerce's, which is why I got into doing Chamber of Commerce's. Like, you're out there doing it. You've got your red hair. You're doing your thing. Like, but you're doing it, right? It's like you're doing it.
I'm trying.
But your engagement with me, and then I started engaging with you, and then you were like in the engagement back and forth. That's no different with that than it is with a brand that you're engaging, right? So it's like, to me,
you got to keep the social in social media, whether you're a person or a company.
Yeah, and too many people think that you can create an ad and then get a customer. And I think sometimes it's more than that. Either you can't write this same long ad copy that makes it seem like you're a human being. Like, don't get too cute with the email headlines to trick me into opening it up. Like, actually invest in these people, invest in it. And that's part of the targeting, is you understand what's important to them and then speak to that. So,
and if you're tricking people, you're not getting the right audience anyway.
no, it looks good on numbers though, doesn't it? Everybody loves wing clicks. Oh, everybody loves my open email rate is like 97%, but it's because you have some dorky headline that like it makes people open it up. It's like, that's not what it's about. Yeah.
No. You want to be legit, so you get your correct audience that you can actually help and that actually wants your help. Yeah. Well, this is awesome. I don't think we have a ton of live views, so I don't know if anyone's going to have any questions. But if anyone does have any questions, throw them out there. I think we're mostly going to get a lot of after views on this, especially since I'm about to email this out to some people. But, Will, this was so awesome. I'm so glad that you came on. I'm so glad that you explained the magic of what you do, because I haven't been doing nearly enough of it myself, and I really need to dig into this myself, and you've been a great inspiration on that.
Oh, thank you.
And really the name of the game, and the thing that you really, really understand, is it's about finding the people who need what you have to give and giving it to them, because otherwise it's just a waste of everybody's time and money. And to that end, actually, and to something that Will had mentioned, thank you, Strike Up the Brand, my personal branding e-course, is launching in October, but today the link is live to buy it. If you're on my email list, you already received a link with a discounted price option. If you would like to join my email list, you will get that link with the discounted price option next week again. But if you're not, regardless, I have my e-course. You can start signing up for it today. And what it is it's about figuring out your personal brand. What about you makes you able to do what you do in a way that nobody else can, because that's really what you need to convey. And figuring out who you're conveying it to also, because again, it saves everybody time and effort if you're conveying the right message to the right people who actually need it. We'll be working together for 4 weeks. It is not just an e-course that kind of lives on its own. It's a 4-week kind of intensive where every week there's a new video taking you further along in the process. And there's a private Facebook group so that you can discuss it with people who are also on this journey. And every single week I'll be popping on Facebook Live in that group to answer questions directly. So you get like real time with me every single week for that 4 weeks also, which is great. And so that is live. I'm going to be posting a link for that. And it starts the first week of October. And I hope everybody signs up and loves it. Thank you so much, Will Taggart from Taggart Media. I'm going to link. He's already linked in the post, but I'm going to link him again. And thank you. Thank you so much.
So if you're thinking about doing this, strike up the brand, I would definitely take a look at Christine's page and scroll down and see, is this just something that she just invented or that she's been sitting in the office creating? If you start looking at there, she's actually doing what she's teaching. She's been doing it. She didn't just start it last week. And you're probably going to get pretty inspired by the fact that she actually goes out there and does a lot of this stuff. She makes me tired just watching everything that she does. So I fully endorse it. She's amazing. So.
Thank you so much, Will, and thank you for targeting me on Facebook so that I was able to find you. And you should totally come to social media marketing world this year. It's amazing. And yeah, I'll see everyone next week. I do this every Friday at noon, different topics every week. See everyone soon. Bye.
Bye.